Good morning. Welcome to the next installment of Sunday Breakfast. As you know, I'm Lewis. Lila's behind the camera, videotaping everything today. So on the menu today, we are making beef Wellington eggs Benedict with a little bit of special breakfast twist. So stay tuned. Actually got some bacon going right now. That's going to be obviously to eat, but it's going to be the base of our bacon onion jam that we're going to cook around our steak. So we're going to remove this from the pan, let it drain a little bit. And we're going to do two things with this bacon grease. Is we're going to use it as part of our bacon onion jam and saute some onions in it and such. But also, I'm going to reserve some of this delicious bacon grease to be used in the hollandaise sauce, and I'll show you how that's going to be done. Pyrex right here. Let's go over the sink so we don't make a mess. And we're going to collect some of this bacon grease and just let that chill to be used in our bacon hollandaise sauce later. And because I don't want a grease fire, I'm going to take this pan and wipe it off right there. And so now I've got this leftover bacon grease in there. Pan's on the stovetop's on low. So we're going to add about half of a large yellow onion. I use yellow onions because they are sweet, good, versatile, all-around onion. And then to make sure we touch all bases of sweet, savory, spicy, I've got half of a chopped up serrano pepper here. We're going to throw that in there and we're going to cook it down. So while we are doing that, let me get a rubber spatula out of here to stir up our onion. Wanted to say I really appreciated everybody's comments and feedback for the last video. I shared, Lila enjoyed that too. We had a lot of fun making it. Not to play favorites, but to play favorites. One of my favorite comments, somebody referred to me as said something like, "Yay, Lewis, the East County cooking gay." Which I presume to be a typo. It was pretty funny, had a good laugh. I had some people texting screenshots of that to me and thought they were pretty funny. So there you go, I'm adding some salt to this. That much. Some pepper, that much. But then also another one that was funny, add a little paprika to it too, is somebody commented about my beard. So the question we have is, did the beard comment have to go with the East County cooking gay comment?
We're not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I don't know. We report, you decide. So we're going to just be sauteing this on sort of low heat. We want to get the onions nice and translucent. All right, so now our onions have cooked down. They're a little bit more translucent. I've chopped up our bacon. We're going to add that back in there. And then we're going to make sure we get all that. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to add some brown sugar in there. There we go. I don't know, that much. I think that'll be perfect. Again, I've never made this, so at least not like this. Seen the recipe, so we stir that around a little bit. We want it all to continue to cook down because we want it to be kind of soft, like it's really like a jam, and we're wrapping it around our steak within our puff pastry that's going to be in our beef Wellington, and that's the little twist I'm doing. It's typically a beef Wellington has a mushroom sort of, I don't know if it's like a sauce or a ragu. I don't know what the fancy term is for it, but I thought bacon would be better, so I'm gonna do that. And then add a little bit of balsamic vinegar. If you ever cooked with balsamic vinegar, you know a little bit goes a long way. So I'm just gonna do a little bit less than a tablespoon. We'll see how that starts. Let that mix around, and then I'm gonna add just a little bit of water, just to want to get it to have some liquid there to kind of cook off. So I'm gonna stir all that around and just let that really slowly reduce, because we want everything to get kind of soft. It's a nice wrap for our beef Wellington. So let this cook down, and then we'll get going on the steak. All right, so we got some small sirloin steaks here that we're gonna just liberally season with salt and pepper. Got my cast iron skillet heated up with some vegetable oil in it. You know, your tendency is when you're cooking in a cast iron skillet, you're thinking, oh, maybe I want to do some olive oil because it sounds a little fancier, or you like to cook with butter. The problem is the smoke point of those is such that it will start to smoke and burn. So you use the vegetable oil, which tends to hold up better. So I'm going to put these seasoned side down here, like this, on my nice hot cast iron skillet. The reason I went with these steaks is, I'm going to be honest, it's just totally priced. Jamie does not have a lot of patience for me dropping $40 on prime beef for my Sunday morning breakfast vanity project. So instead, you get to see this. So we're going to use these, which is going to be fine because we're going to coat it in bacon and wrap it in puff pastry. So it's going to be delicious. So let these cook a little bit on each side because we just want to crust. Because remember, this is going to be wrapped in puff pastry and put in the oven. So, all right. So now it's been a couple minutes. We're going to flip these over. I'll get a little bit of crust on them. There you go. That's nice. But not too much because we don't want to dry out the beef. So we're going to put about another minute on that. As you can see, our bacon and onion jam is still reducing a little bit. We want to make sure we get all that moisture off of it, and it kind of coagulates a little bit more together. But this will be a great surrounding of our beef Wellington. So let the steak cook for a couple more seconds on the other side here, and then we'll take those off and let them rest. While I'm thinking about it, the other thing we're going to be doing is we're going to add some poached eggs for it. Of course, it's Eggs Benedict. And also, I've sliced up some russet potatoes. We're going to try to make some crispy skillet potatoes, because we're really going to want to have something to soak up all that hollandaise sauce and eat it after we get through the beef. So I think our steaks are going to be good. So let's move them, take them over here to let them rest on my cutting board. Here. And then we'll remember to turn off the heat. So that's it. So our jam is now ready. So we're gonna just let this drain out into here. See, it's nice, soft consistency. I tasted it. It tastes really good. I'm very, very happy with it. I think it's gonna complement our steaks really well. So we get all this goodness out of here, and then. Yeah, so we're going to let that cool down a little bit, because remember, we're wrapping the steak with this, and then we're putting it inside puff pastry. So we want the puff pastry to cook from the outside in, not the inside out. So we're going to let this sit over here and rest next to our steaks, and then we are going to go with the puff pastry. Got some Pepperidge Farm puff pastry sheets. So I've never once even seen a puff pastry sheet, let alone cook with it. So we're going to see what we're about to find in here. So unwrap it. It appears to be some manner of dough. Oh, there we go. Hey, got a coupon for my next one. We'll see how it goes if I want to use a coupon. So there's that. Oh yeah, look at this. This is nice. There's the puff pastry sheet. I've got it on some flour. we're gonna roll it out a little bit and make it so that we can put our steaks in it. So hold on. Okay, so we're gonna roll out this thing. Little known fact about me, I for a long time was very afraid of dough, which is weird. You're like, hey, he likes to cook. No, I was afraid of dough. I'd never use it. You'd always see me do stuff like make a potato crust or something like that. Anything except for a dough, because I was afraid of using it. So I'm pushing the envelope here for myself using this puff pastry, an ingredient that I've never cooked with, but we'll see. So I've got this kind of laid out. Let's see how thick that is. That's pretty good, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my handy knife here. I'm going to cut it in half. Maybe get the whole thing. And cut it again. Again, I've never done this before. I have no idea how it's going to work. But I think I'm going to have two sides like that. So we're going to put a little bit of our bacon onion jam in the bottom. Nice piece of steak. A little bit more on top, right? And then we're going to put some of this puff pastry on it, like that. And so should use some egg wash to seal it. I don't know. This is going to make for some riveting television, isn't it, Lila? So I don't know, because now it looks like it's like the world's worst ravioli. So anyways, we'll put some egg wash on it. We'll see how this turn out.
It looks like as if a snake ate like a rat or something, and it hasn't digested its food yet.
All right, so Lila has a future in copy drafting. So we got this.
What do you mean by that?
Writing copy for the. So I think we'll get that in there like that. Get a nice seal. But you know what? I'm gonna. But see, this is the fun of it, right? Is never having done this before. I'm gonna trim the edges here. I don't want the world's worst ravioli. I want a nice compact thing that's gonna be a base for my stuff. So there we go. So I'm gonna trim off these edges. And do that back there. Make it nice. Okay, there we go. So I think that's gonna be actually there.
It's way better now.
See, that's way better. So we're gonna do that, and then the last thing we do is actually have a brush for this part. Take the egg wash, put it all over here. So we want it to get nice and crispy and golden brown. And there we go. And then you go like this. Cut a little thing in it. 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 Like that. That's pretty, right? And so I've got.
It's like a pie.
Yes. And so then take this, and we're going to put it on our baking sheet. All right. So now we're going to try number 2. So I think our puff pastries are ready to go into the oven. I've got it set for like about 350 degrees, and we're gonna let these bake for however long it takes. I'm guessing about 15 minutes, but I'm gonna be closely monitoring it because I've never used puff pastry before, so I'm not sure how long, but I want to watch it closely. But in the meantime, so I've got that skillet over here that we were using for our bacon onion jam. And this is a little trick I like to do to also save mess, is I've got this pan that's got all this great flavor in it here with the stuff, and so I've taken these potatoes and seasoned them with salt, pepper, and paprika. Add a little bit of olive oil just to make sure we got enough grease in it. And let's crank that heat up a little bit. And then we're gonna throw these potatoes in here. We're gonna let these cook so we can have some nice seasoned breakfast potatoes when we get time to eat. So you can see that our potatoes are getting nice and crispy and done. And so next we're over here, I've got some water and a little bit of vinegar simmering. You do a little swirl. Got our egg. This is gonna be our poached egg for our first one. You put it in there like that, let it go. Maybe a couple minutes, and then we'll pull that out and we'll get going to the next one. All right, so our potatoes are done. We're gonna take them off the heat, let them rest over here on our cutting board. And we got a little bit to go yet on our first poached egg. You can do a progress shot of our puff pastry. It appears to be puffing, so that's good news. All right, so we're gonna get started on our hollandaise sauce. It's gonna be 3 egg yolks, the equivalent of 1 stick of butter, some lemon juice, and some seasoning. So we'll get a nice clean cut there. Separate our egg yolks nice and neatly. There we go. That's egg yolk number 1. I'm doing it in a blender. A lot of people do it over a double boiler and stuff, but I saw once that Julia Child did it this way, and I said, it's good enough for Julia Child, it's good enough for me. So, makes it a lot easier, I think. And then this is egg yolk number 2. And it also, I think, makes it a little bit fluffier consistency. And I wouldn't mind a little fluffier consistency with my, oops, we have a little bit of toast there. But that's good. Okay, so we got 3 egg yolks in there. Wash off my hands. All right. And add some lemon juice. I don't know, spray that much. I mean, the acid is just really to kind of cut through the richness, right? You've got egg yolk, you've got melted butter, but in our case, melted butter and bacon grease. So there's some salt, a little pepper, and then some paprika. So then all we're gonna do when it's time is drizzle in our hot butter and bacon grease mixture through the top here in our blender. So we'll go do that in a little bit because it's time to take off our second poached egg, and we're gonna let that relax here on this paper towel. And we're done. Our puff pastries are looking pretty dang good.
Wait, I can't.
I actually think I'm gonna take those out. Let those chill for a while. Look at that, that's really nice. Put these here next to that. And the last thing will be to get our hollandaise sauce ready. Ask me, why are you in your garage? Well, Jamie likes to sleep in on Sunday mornings, sometimes even till like noon. It's crazy. So the deal is I can cook as long as I don't wake her up and stuff. So I go out here in the garage to make my hollandaise sauce and turn on the blender because frankly I'd rather wake up my neighbors than wake up my wife.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
Here goes. We've got our hot melted butter and bacon grease mixture here. And then we're going to turn on our blender. Slowly drizzle in the butter. You can notice a change in the sound. And we are good. So you can see we got a delicious hollandaise sauce. Nice consistency right there, nice and fluffy.
Okay.
And so we'll go in there and we're ready to steak with our bacon onion jam inside. I'm going to get a little bit of our bacon hollandaise sauce on here. It's a really nice consistency I'm pleased with, but the bacon gives it a really nice smoky bacony flavor with the hollandaise sauce, which I think is just really great. Goes to breakfast. It's really nice. Add a little bit more hollandaise sauce to top that. Some chives. And there you have it. Beef Wellington, eggs Benedict, and